NSC, request spacecraft configure for launch. Roger. Thank you. QAM? QAM. Could you get the list?
At T-minus 4 minutes and holding, this is Delta Launch Control. The spacecraft is currently being configured for launch today at 1:47:08 p.m. Eastern. The discussion that was going on about some red line information, they wanted to make sure that they had the correct data in that particular document to make sure that we did not get a hold called when we did not need one, or that it was able to call a hold if it needed. They have cleared that particular issue for flight today. At T-minus 4 minutes and holding, this is Delta Launch Control.
Proceed with the terminal count at the end of the hold.
Roger.
LCDR, verify water pressure is 125 plus or minus 25 psid.
Verified.
FMA, board latch on.
On.
LCDR, establish countdown limit conditions T-minus 4 minutes or on.
On. Load release verified.
Stand by for release of the hold.
Cycling lock tank pin.
At T-minus 4 minutes and holding, this is Delta Launch Control. We just came out of a scheduled built-in 10-minute hold. We are awaiting final status checks from NASA Boeing launch controllers and deep impact officials to make sure we are ready to proceed. All appears to be continuing well in the count, and we are moving toward the last few moments in the countdown. We will now go to a shot of the Deep Impact ground station. This is where the Deep Impact test team is located, giving commands to the spacecraft during countdown, assessing its readiness for launch, and troubleshooting when necessary. It is located at the Astrotech Payload Processing Facility, just west of Kennedy Space Center. At T-minus 3 minutes and counting, this is Delta Launch Control.
T-minus 3 minutes.
OSM, third stage SNA permit closed.
Closed.
SSE, third stage SNA arm. Arm on. Prop 1, vehicle fuel tank press open.
Open.
Prop 1, vehicle umbilical purge open.
Open.
FSC, bat 1 heater control exit.
Exit.
Battery 2 control exit.
Exit.
NSE, report spacecraft is go.
Spacecraft go.
At T-minus 2 minutes and counting, this is Delta Launch Control. We just heard a go for spacecraft to go to internal power. We expect to hear that the first stage oxygen vents will be closed, allowing the first stage to pressurize.
Prop 2, top first stage locked to 100% level.
Up to 100%.
We just received the final go for liftoff today at 1:47:08 p.m. Eastern.
90 seconds. SSE, hydraulic external power on. External.
T-minus 80 seconds. RCO, report range go for launch.
Range go. LCDR, you are going for launch.
Roger. T-minus 70 seconds.
SSE, hydraulic internal. Internal.
T-minus 60 seconds.
T-minus 60 seconds, just seconds away now from the beginning of the Deep Impact 6-month journey to impact the Comet Temple 1.
T-minus 45 seconds.
CLCDR 17B, launch enable flight.
Flight.
ATC 3, main power disable on.
On.
T-minus 35 seconds.
Hydraulics go.
T-minus 30
T-minus
seconds.
30 seconds. Everything is go at this time for the launch of Deep Impact. T-minus 20. T-minus 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff of a Delta II rocket carrying Deep Impact, NASA's journey to unlock the mystery of the solar system's origin.
Coming up on T plus 36 seconds, we are now supersonic. Vehicle now passing an altitude of 3 miles, downrange distance 13 miles, and coming up on 2,000 miles an hour. First stage performance still looking good, and we have exceeded max Q. All ground start motors have tapered off, and we have reached burnout. And the air starts have ignited, and all 6 ground start motors have jettisoned. See the normal level of disturbance after solid motor jettison, and that has damped out nicely. We're now passing T plus 86 seconds into the mission. Air start solid motors all burning symmetrically, and they've passed their peak chamber pressure, coming up on T plus 105 seconds. Stage system still looking good. Now passing an altitude of 19 miles, downrange distance 45, and a velocity of over 4,000 miles an hour. Main engine and verniers continue to burn well, good chamber pressures there, and we are tapering off, reaching burnout of the air start motors. Jettison. All 3 air start motors have jettisoned. And we have pressurized the LOX tank. We have reset the relief reset. And we can confirm a slow increase in LOX tank pressure, now passing T plus 150 seconds. First stage performance still looks good. Main engine and verniers still burning well. Nice good chamber pressure there.
Everything continues to look good with the Deep Impact payload on board. The 9 solid rocket strap-on boosters have been jettisoned, and the Deep Impact spacecraft is on its way to catch up to Temple 1 in July. We are now hearing Boeing's Mark Levine in the NASA Telemetry Lab, where real-time telemetry from the vehicle is coming in from the downrange tracking stations.
We expect data levels. Coming up on T plus 200 seconds, now passing an altitude of 44 miles and a velocity of 8,000 miles per hour. Main engine and verniers continue to stay at the levels they should be, burning well. Coming up on T plus 230 seconds. First stage continues to look good. First stage data levels are where they should be. Passing T plus 245 seconds. Next event will be float switches followed by a MECO. Both switches have come in, and we have enabled MECO. There's MECO. Main engine has cut off. Both verniers still running well under tank pressure. And there's MECO and 1-2 step. We've separated the stages. It is looking good. Second stage is just ignited. Chamber pressure coming up, looking good. There goes the ferry. We've unlatched, 1, 2, 3, and jettisoned.
The first stage cutoff took place, as well as first and second stages separated, with second stage ignition occurring moments later. We also saw the fairing cover protecting the deep impact spacecraft jettisoned about 4 minutes and 56 seconds into the flight. The second stage will continue to burn until nearly 10 minutes into the flight, when the second stage cuts off for the first time. The vehicle then coasts for about 16 minutes before the second stage is restarted.
A little over 13,000 miles per hour.
With the terminal count at the end of the built mold.
Roger.
CLCDR, verify water pressure is 125 plus or minus 25 PSID.
Verified.
FMA, board latch on.
On.
LCDR, establish countdown limit conditions T-minus 4 minutes or on.
On. Load release verified.
Stand by.
QAM.
QAM. Could you get the list?
At T-minus 4 minutes and holding, this is Delta Launch Control. The spacecraft is currently being configured for launch today at 1:47:08 p.m. Eastern. The discussion that was going on about some red line information that
NSC request spacecraft configure for launch. Roger. Thank you.
they wanted to make sure that they had the correct data in that particular document to make sure that we did not get a hold called when we did not need one, or that it was able to call a hold if it needed. They have cleared that particular issue for flight today. At T-minus 4 minutes and holding, this is Delta Launch Control.
Proceed for release of the hold.
Cycling lock tank in.